book because he made it for everybody, and he brings all kinds of opinions. And I was looking to see it, and I didn't, but it was interesting. So at the end, we're gonna whatever we have on these questions, we're gonna do that. Okay. So first of all, one of the stories. Did everyone read chapter 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So there was a story about an electrician. Does everyone remember the story about the electrician?
Yes, who forgot the details.
Exactly. So I think it's a great story, and this is one of the stories that I like reviewing when it came. They read it on their own, but when you review it, so it is, right? It's about a guy who has something wrong with his electricity, right? And he calls the electrician, and he opens the box, and he opens the wall, and he puts together all of the very big wires, and he leaves the small little wires, he just leaves. And the owner of the house looks at him, and he says, like, hey, 1 minute, didn't you forget to put together? And he says, I don't bother with the small details. I only worry about the big ones. And sure enough, they went to turn on the light, and what happened?
Nothing.
Didn't work, right? So it's the same thing, especially when it's coming to Taharas Mishpacha. There is no question that there are bigger things and there are smaller things, right? We know intimate relations during that. We know that is the biggie, the biggest, right? And then there, let's say, are smaller things when we're going to talk about a little bit later on, putting the keys down. We're going to come to talk about every single bedika. We know that for sure the most important bedikas is going to be the hefsek tara, one on the first day and one on the 7th day. But what about all the extra ones, right? What about them? So what we have to do is, what is it? For us to be able to appreciate Taharas Mishpacha in its totality, in its fullness, we have to worry about the small details. If we really want the light to go on, if we really want, it to shine, if we really want to get the full benefit, then we need to worry about the small details. And what I like saying about the small details is, let's say, for example, everybody sets a Shabbos table. What makes your Shabbos table different than mine? Everybody cooks food. Tell me, what makes a Shabbos table beautiful?
The details.
The details. Everybody puts plates. Everybody put forks, right? What type of plates? What kind of napkin? What are the small things on the table? Right? If you go look, when people go to an event, what do they pick on that's like, wow? The small little details that we bother with, that we put extra special attention to. Those are the things that make the whole thing beautiful. Same thing when it's coming to Taharas Mishpacha. Yes, there are certain things that are the basics. But what makes Taharas Mishpacha beautiful? What makes it something so wonderful? What makes the whole thing extra special? It's the attention that we put to the details. And so then we're understanding, yes.
On different notes, I don't agree with you. I think, not about Taharas Mishpacha, that's fine. But Shabbos table, I don't think the details. I think the environment. I really don't think.
But sometimes you have to create the environment.
You could put
but it's the details that create.
Wait. You could put plastic cups. It's fine, and you could put plastic plate. It's the environment. It's the warmth. It's the love.
Yes, but
it's the atmosphere more than.
But if you have everything,
I
you have a
understand
beautiful
that.
environment.
That perfectly. No.
But even a Shabbos table.
Shabbos table.
Even a Shabbos table.
Different if it's dishes from plastic or dishes from a real whatever fancy one. It's the environment. It could be with fancy dishes and it could be with plastic, the most simple plastic.
Yes, but the atmosphere,
the
atmosphere becomes the detail in that family.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is the detail because it's what are the extras? What is
family? I think any
no, but what stands out? So yes, but it's what makes your family different. Every family is different. How do you specifically create the environment? Some is by singing, some is by saying Divrei Torah, some is going around by each person. Every person's environment is done. They decided the details to create that environment. It doesn't just come. The example would be there are people. No. But Adina, it's the same thing. Everybody has people. Everyone has people by the table. What makes the people in one house different than the people in the other house? Everybody has people. Everybody has a table. It's the small things that you So to the table, it's the details of a napkin,
Especially
right?
Mishka,
Or
everything is
or the
about details.
people,
A beautiful
it's what they
table
did
with
it.
beautiful food and all the
Beautiful
details.
environment.
with
Right.
An angry crowd
Exactly.
doesn't
And to
work.
be
Well,
the most
exactly.
delicious food,
No,
the
but-
nicest table.
You
no,
need
the
both.
nicest
You need
dish.
both.
Right. No, but here we're not
I
talking.
think it
Here I'm
helps.
talking
The
about just
details
a
help
table.
get
What
to
makes a
that
beautiful
side.
I
table?
understand,
Beautiful
yeah.
table
You
thing.
also need to know
Sure.
yourself. If you're someone like I know for some, I like to put nice dishes and all these things. I find like sometimes Shabbos lunch I'm like lazy and I just throw paper plates and
For sure.
I even bring like the dip from the
Right.
sushi kasher on the table
Exactly.
and I feel like a schlump. Like I'm like not.
And then
my
automatically
husband comes
it
up from
puts
shul
you-
and I'm like justifying it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
like?
but then
so like you feel more.
for sure. But no, but Adina, I do like it because I feel it's the same exact thing. I think what
It
you're
goes
telling me is
together
the
with
same
Taras
exact
and
thing.
Mishpacha for
That you
sure.
always have people. But what makes a difference at Petitel? Because every family dynamic is slightly different.
But
What makes a difference?
No, but
What
we
they
can
put
hear
in.
about
But in your personal
physical
touch,
and-
when
No,
you're
physical
authentic,
physical
if you're not
people.
someone that's fancy and cares
But it's
about
everything
that.
they do. It's the
then
same.
that's
Yeah,
what makes it
yeah.
good for
I
you.
think
Yeah, I like the
does-
mushroom. Maybe you're saying like it's the attitude that you have. It's
Yeah,
that
it's-
also
Or attitude
I
too.
think it fits with the mushroom.
That's about the Shabbos.
Yeah.
But it does tie in because if you have Taras HaMishpacha and you're like keeping every single detail.
I think
there's
it
not
goes
that much
together.
stuff on
Someone
the
who's
passion.
scared-
Yeah,
Exactly.
Then you miss the
Exactly.
whole point.
Exactly.
It's not about those,
Action and attitude.
like they have to be together.
That's what it is.
No, I say there are plenty of very frum couples who keep all the halachas
And
do
it's
not
still
have happy
exactly
marriage.
because it's-
Action and attitude creates the atmosphere. So we have all three.
You could be like,
Yes,
even
it's
like
true.
I think even Fakir, like before Shabbos, we whatever, so busy with the details, another salad, another this, another
you're
we
enjoying it
lost
in
the
a simple-
concept
I
of
agree.
Shabbos of
and it's like
Bring on
in
the
Yiddish,
Shabbos.
Well, that's
Isn't that
great.
what Shabbos is, to beautify the Shabbos?
Yes.
There's something in there.
But no, but you're right. But you are
less
right.
salad, less
Stressed
this,
about
not
that.
fancy
Yeah,
dishes.
but that's
you neshama
But
to the table,
but you
right?
know, but you're right. But that we talk about later when we talk about the importance of relations, and then what is a good wife? A good wife is a good wife. What is a chas v'shalom, a bad wife? Someone who cooks every single dish, but turns her back to her husband
I didn't
today.
want to use
Yeah.
my phone.
You know?
I agree what you're not
But now I'm like,
Shabbos is perfect.
But I agree with you.
No,
But I agree, 100%. But I agree with you 100%. Like she said, if you have a beautiful table, but you're grumpy and miserable, who cares? No one likes
And you're
that.
exhausted after you made I don't know.
400
But that is true. Let's say, for example, when do you appreciate all the details, which is what she said? When do we? When the attitude is right, then we appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, because you're 100%. If you come in, like, who cares how the table looked?
Exactly.
So it's true what you said. That when do we appreciate the details? When we look at it in a certain way, and we have that attitude, and we see it in a certain way. You know. Okay. So anyhow, that's what he just said at the end. I'm not fanatic of details, and here it's not talking about being fanatics. It's about making the whole thing work, right? And the more we do it, I always say to my students, I say, think of it like this: Hakadosh Baruch Hu, right? We know that bracha comes down, right? We have to make the keli, the channels, right? So I say, think about it, that every single time we do a mitzvah, we're unblocking the funnel for the bracha. So in your mind, think, I'm doing this, I'm doing.
balance.
It is beautiful,
All
those
about
parts. But here we have the atmosphere. So I said, and you have them like, you think about it, like the Eibishter is giving you bracha. The Eibishter wants you to give you bracha. Every single thing that he's telling you, every detail is bringing you bracha. Every single time you concentrate, even something that you might think is small, you are unblocking the funnel for the Eibishter to send pouring down the bracha. So imagine, yes, you're going to get bracha here, but if you do this and this and this and this, all you're doing is allowing Hashem to send more bracha to you. It was like one time I read in the letter of the Rebbe. The Rebbe wanted a person, I think at that time it was like a beard or a shape or whatever, and the Rebbe wrote, the Eibishter is waiting to send it down to you. He has it. It's all there prepared. All you need to do is do the action, and you have it.
I heard something good on that note. It's like without like Hashem, I can't, but without me, He won't. So if I don't make
That's nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. Exactly. So, so it's all about bringing Hashem, first of all, making and appreciating the mitzvah more. We can only appreciate really the fullness of the mitzvah if we do it in all its details. And we can only give ourselves the bracha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is waiting for us if we do it with all the details. So it's not about the burden, it's actually realizing, acknowledging that every single one of these small details, if we think about it, the incredible bracha that we get as a result of it, well, hey, I want to because it's lucky. And later I'm going to do another sikha in the next class, which is like super beautiful. Anyway, so, and then of course the other point that it makes is really that we need to tell kalas that it's very important to review the halachas, because we know that when we're learning as a kala, we don't really get what we're learning. It's not practical, and therefore, even though we understand it in our head, but once we do it, right? Therefore, it's very important, first of all, right after they're married, to sit down with their chassan and to learn it together, and to understand. And if there's any discrepancy, to kind of figure it out, call a rav, find out, ask the kala teacher, and to just keep reviewing, which is why it's so important to have the books. You want them to have the books. You don't want anyone lending, borrowing books. They need to have the books in their house, so it's always accessible, so they can always read it and review it. And you tell them to go to some classes after they're married, to constantly review it. And Mirz Hashem, they're going to get pregnant with Eibishter's help, and then Baruch Hashem for 9 months, they're not going to need to know them. And then as soon as they go into the hospital and they're nursing, they start reviewing it because we forget. So that's just very important. It's not like a one-time learning, it's a continuous
I
learning.
think halakha class should be 2 classes before the wedding and then halakha.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, because it's
You
so
can
much
apply
So
it
much,
yourself.
so much, so much.
Big point that you can
theoretical.
apply it. Yeah.
Okay. So the countdown, page 80.
No, that'd be oldies like me. What chapter are we?
Chapter 5. Yeah, it's different, exactly. Okay, so what do we have to do? After, like we said, we have our period for a minimum of 5 days. If it's shorter, there are some people who only have periods for 3 days, then we of course have a minimum of 5 days. Some people have it longer. We also tell the girls that this could change. The period that they had before they're married is not necessarily the period that they're going to have after the period. The period that they had before they start giving birth is not going to be the same period that they necessarily had after giving birth. And that's why, they just shouldn't assume really anything, So they should check, so to say, if like we said, a minimum of 5 days, and up to however many days it's finished. But sometimes they should be able to try, even if they think maybe that it hasn't finished, they should try. And by trying, they're going to start knowing their body if it's longer or not. But you try, because sometimes, like we said, especially let's say in the summer months, sometimes maybe in the winter months, on the 5th day they wouldn't have been able to finish. But in the summer months, which ends much later, it's very possible that would be totally fine, and they can even know that even sometimes, let's say an hour before it might not be good, but if they go in right before, it actually might also be okay. We don't want them to wait to the last second, so we tell them, but if you see that maybe it is, then it's worth sometimes trying. Don't be aware, don't think it is going to be like this. We don't know really, So what is a hefsek tara? A hefsek tara is a bdika that determines that we have actually stopped bleeding. Now, many Rabbanim today suggest that on the 5th day, as early as possible, a woman should do a hefsek tara, because, especially in the winter months, life takes over and it's shkia and you forgot. So
say that again. A rough what?
suggests,
Yeah.
okay, that a woman should do a badika early in the day when she remembers, even as early in the morning, if she's able to. Now, a lot of times people who do 5th won't be able to get that clean one, but as early as she can, not necessarily wait to the last second, so that if she forgets later on, she will be able to rely on the one that's earlier. The proper time is approximately within about an hour and a half.
So she said do 2. Do 1 in the morning and then 1 at night.
Exactly.
But if
She- on the right
forgot,
time.
then the
We always say in
leniency-
the afternoon, because we have at night would be after tzeis, right? So we have to say in the afternoon, late
End of
afternoon,
the day.
at the end of the never at the end of the day. We have to be
Depends on
afternoon, because we have to afternoon still means day. You know what I mean? Night or late in their mind means night. When you're teaching, when do we do? Right? Late afternoon, right? Before evening, before shkia.
Should she do a bdika if she knows she's bleeding like on the 5th day?
She should wait till the very end, and she should try to wash it out a little bit. And sometimes, even if you think you are, when you start the washing, let's say, I always tell the girls, I would say about 3-4 times. Let's say if she's washing, and comes out, try it a few more. If you really see, no way, this is not happening. But sometimes if you just do the washing, really, you might be able to get a clear bdika.
Do you teach them to sit in a bath?
If they have time, we're talking about the ideal thing is to take a bath. In the winter, it's very unlikely that they're gonna be at home at 3:00 in the afternoon. So I always tell them, of course, which I tell them anyway, is you take a bdika cloth and you wet it, and you first of all in the inside you do it with the wet cloth, and you just, let's say, take a washcloth or a napkin and just wash around that area, But always take a bdika, even if you're sitting in a bath. Take a bdika cloth, wet it, don't squeeze it out, and wash inside, and wait for about 10 minutes, and then do it again. Unless you see that you would need a few more times of the wet bdika cloth to be able to do that.
Sorry, the proper time is approximately half hour before.
An hour and a half.
An hour
But
and a half.
within an hour and a half, it's called Shema Zani, which is like even 2.25 hours. I think the exact time. I don't quote me on that. You have to look it up. There isn't. It's about 2.25 hours, I believe. Is within before Shkia. That it's like that is the time.
And when
So
they take a bath, you don't have to get. It's not like a.
no, it's just really
bath.
about washing. It's just really to make it that you will have a clean bdika.
Yeah.
You know.
So even if it's a bit of water, just so.
Exactly. So, like we said, that it's important to know when is the right time, within what period of time is the right time to do a hefsek tahara. But it's better to do one earlier and to be able to rely on it than to have to wait a whole extra day to be able to go to the mikvah. But we don't say that, do this. No, this is just in case. It's like a good advice type of thing.
But then they're missing mordechuk.
Yes, but muhdachuk is not halacha. It's minhag Yisrael that we've accepted upon ourselves. Only in certain instances, according to the Tzemach Tzedek, does it become halacha. When is that? That is when you have a blood flow during Shiva Nekiyim. That's why a Rav, if there is problematic issues, let's say it's bdikas are very, very hard, they will say. So that's why we don't want them to do it early lechatchila, because we want them to do the hefsek tahara and the muhdachuk. But it's still better for them to go to the mikvah day early and not to lose a whole day than to do, because being together is a
Okay, but
mitzvah.
not for us.
What?
Not
Even
for
for us.
For anyone.
100%.
Because
Hello,
they
do you know how
forget.
many people go to the mikvah a day late
No,
because
but
they forgot?
without more.
100%.
Wolf is not.
100%. It's minhag Yisrael. It is minhag Yisrael that we've accepted upon
Like
ourselves.
after giving birth, a lot of times they'll play late. Like
That's why it's very. But let's go to it. We're going to talk about it.
So
It's a must.
So mach is not halal.
Even you know how many women of ours are going to mikvah late a day because they forgot the badika, especially in the winter time.
And
it's a problem.
So the more is
Minhag Yisrael that we've accepted upon ourselves. We should not be mekel, but we have to understand that it's a minhag Yisrael. It does not invalidate our process, and we still are able to rely on this and still go to the mikvah. 1,000,000% it is better than to do that.
No, it's fine.
You know.
I've had I don't know how, but the Rav did say that the Badika was fine.
without the more.
Yeah, I think I forgot the
Well, for
mach,
sure.
and I was able to
Because it's a minhag Yisrael. The most important is that's why even let's say we're gonna talk about a few details. Okay, we're gonna talk about a few details. So again, what is hefsek tahara? Hefsek tahara is the badika that determines that we have actually stopped bleeding. When is it done? It has to be done before Shkia on the 5th day. Cutoff time always is before Shkia and after Shkia. That is the cutoff time.
What's after Shkia? What's after
Shkia, you have to.
No, I get it has to be done after before Shkia, but why did you say after Shkia? Like,
No, if you do it after Shkia, it's no day.
Right, obviously, right.
Right? Now, of course, if it is, I would say within 3 minutes of Shkia late, you should call a Rav.
do it and then call the
Basically,
Rav.
Do it and then call a
Don't
Rav.
call the Rav
But
first.
just a point of interest,
Yeah.
Yerushalayim has an extended shkia.
Very,
Yeah.
very. I know I had it one time actually.
Oh.
Yes. They bench lift really early and really early even their what's it called it is
Especially on the calendar. Really, al pi halacha, there's an additional 6 minutes.
yeah. So that's why, depending on where you are and what, if it mamish is that exactly, like you say, run in, do it, look at the clock, then call the Rav and say, like never think like, oh, it's Pashkia. If it's like within those few minutes, run and go and ask.
Don't think, just do.
Just think exactly, 100%
And you do both,
exactly.
The machtachok and the...
Yes. Okay.
So when is it that you said we don't do the machtachok if you do it?
No,
earlier?
let's get to it. Let's get to it, then we'll talk. Okay? Right.
It's if you
Right.
forgot, but you
it,
did your
it doesn't
hafsakah
invalidate.
earlier.
Okay.
It's a leniency that you should still go to the
Okay,
mikvah.
okay.
Right, exactly. So hefsek, like we said, that we do tell girls, especially in the winter, do it just in case. Don't rely on it. Do it at the right time. This is really the best time. This is the right time. But do it, because going to mikvah, which fits into everything we've been teaching them. What is the main point? We want you to go to the mikvah on time. We don't want you to delay it. So every way which we can, we're going to do things in order that this is the way you're going to be able to do it.
We should
right?
also teach them that they should be so excited. They shouldn't forget. That's like back to detail.
Well, today,
Important
what I always
detail.
tell them is, yes, but if you're in the middle of the winter
But
and
it
all of a
could
sudden
happen.
something comes up and you're working and it's 4 o'clock, or all of a
If
sudden your
there's
kids are
nothing
having
traffic,
if your kids are
yeah.
having a temper
No,
tantrum,
reminders, it beeps.
and there's
Or you're
temper
in your car on
tantrums,
your way back
and
to-
there's this or that,
Remember these issues
you
that
could
I always
be
had to do
you
before.
could be the most excited person. It's gonna slip your mind because
only human.
the value of women is that we are able to go in and out of things, and that is also forgetful.
Right.
That is our maila, but it also comes with a problem, right? That's why it isn't Indian even that a husband says, did you check? Because a man is more time oriented, and for him, time. How do you forget? A woman understands it's very easy to forget, right? That's why, yes, the phone today, right,
yeah.
is a great thing. You know, but the old generation still doesn't really know how to put the alarm on.
I only work with my phone.
Okay, but the younger generation, we tell them put on the alarm and put it on earlier than later, the earliest part that you're able to do it, and not the later, right? But the point is that you want to teach them everything and give them everything so they get it and they have everything. They did it, I mean, a lot of times in the morning, of course, on the 5th day, you're not going to be able to do it because you need it till that last second. But let's say, for example, a woman forgot on the 5th day. Hell, please make sure on the 6th day in the morning you did it right away, because you know what could happen? You could forget on the 6th day too, and then you go to the 7th, and that happens a lot too, right? So therefore, that's why we need to teach them like everything. That's why we teach them what is din, what is minhag, what is this, what is that, in what circumstances, can you rely and you wouldn't have to ask, But the more details, but what is the philosophy, right? Okay, so we said we do the hefsek tara before shkia, probably within the hour and a half. I think the exact time is about 2 1/4, we'll see. Hefsek tara, the easiest position is 1 foot, like on top of the toilet seat, right? Easiest way to insert it. And part of hefsek tara is circular motion. And I always go with my finger. Circular motion. That is very important because you are touching all of the crevices inside and all of the sides. So a proper hefsek tara is inserted as far as you can go, and it is circular motion. Of course, when a girl is a kala, we tell them just do it just a little bit. As long as you're in a little bit, that's fine. Don't try to go more, but make sure that's in a little bit, right? Even if it's a small part. But in Mirz Hashem, after you get married, you're able to go as far up as possible, and do make sure that we do the circular motion. I'm going to keep this in case Campanina calls me back.
I have to go to my car also.
Okay.
You have to move the cable.
Okay. Okay. Now also, we said that the calendar
Take good notes.
is very important. It's very important to teach our kalas, excuse me, how to keep the calendar. And even though the online calendar is super fantastic and it's wonderful, but we have to tell them that it's very important for them to keep their own calendar too.
Do they have to calculate? Because forget it. I
First of
I
all,
can't
okay,
get
they
to
can
it
really
anymore.
take from
What
the
about your
calendar,
husband? Like,
but
my
you want.
husband does it for me. I think it's like
That's
such a
totally-
nice thing because I feel like we're like in it together. So
Yes,
it's-
I think
and
it's,
that's a big responsibility.
I think it's very beautiful, and I think it's very
He sends
good
me
idea for
texts
the
from
wife
us.
to kind of give the responsibility. But I think it's important for the wife to know what she's doing and what to do. What if her husband
No,
is
I'm
out of
saying,
town?
but
What if
the-
she did it? You know what I mean? It's
if
really
the-
important.
if the-
Then once you know
You
it
have
and you
to
can do it on your
implement
own,
that.
then just say, okay, your job is to do it. But it's important for her to know. And I say then, and when you're going to use the online calendar, you're going to actually you're going to be knowing, are you doing it right? You know, so like time I had a call say like on my calendar it says this, but on the online calendar it says, okay, so where is the discrepancy? Why is it? Okay, oh yeah, so I made so it's great. But the problem is if we only teach them to do the online calendar, there's Shabbos, there's Yantif, there's 2 days Yantif, so you don't get your reminders, your phone is
Okay,
off.
but you could write
I
it
just
on your
got a
You
call
could,
recently.
you
Same way we
could
know
write
what
the
Shabbos
date.
is.
Yes, but
That's the problem.
if it's in your calendar, if it's in your calendar,
I'm saying
it's
print
your
out
calendar.
Isn't
like
there
a
If
blank
you
to
print
myself.
it out,
Like, isn't it more than just the fact that
Yeah,
it's
so
all
that's-
being packed? Isn't there an idea of
Is there an idea of counting? That's what I want to know.
I remember too
Is there
much.
an idea of
I'm-
counting the
Is
days?
it? Like, otherwise, I'm saying, isn't there more to it than why we can't use just the phone or just the online?
I think first of all, you know in your mind when it's coming more, not just when the reminder comes. Like, oh, today is. You kind of have it in your calendar. You know it. You're
Yeah, but if
anticipating
you
it.
also
So it works
write
better
it
if
in
your
your
husband's going out of
calendar.
town, where it is, what it is, you know. But I think it's mostly about really practical. Like Rav told me that he's having a lot of problems with the online calendar, and people are missing a lot of bedikas as a result of it
Why? I would think it's the opposite.
because of Shabbos Yom Tov.
No, but if you print
Or
it
if you're
out,
on a
or if
vacation
you
in
print it-
Timbuktu and you don't
No,
have
but they
internet.
should make it a point. I'm saying, is it important for you to calculate?
Yes, but you
and
see,
write it
but
down?
once
That's
you,
what I
but
wanna
once you have it, it's there in your bedroom. It's not okay. Reminder. Oh my gosh, where is the photocopy
your
machine?
phone
My machine is not working. All
no,
the
whatever.
things.
You have 2 calendars. You put it
Yes,
in
2.
yours. But do you have to calculate? Because I used to calculate. Since I have this, I'm like, forget it. I'm not calculating.
Yeah, or you just
anymore.
put it in your calendar. That's fine too. I just think that it's good for girls to know and to own it. You know, to
Right.
understand it. Becomes more dear to you. It's not as hard as we think so. You know what I mean? But there's no question. If we're really, whatever, then okay, so let's do it. We have it as long as we're doing it. But I think it's good to let them know you could do it and it's fine. And anything we, like you said, which is what your point is really, is that anything we do a little bit more and we're more involved,
'Cause
the
you
more
care
we're
about it.
involved
It's
is
like
the more it
everything
becomes a
else
part
the
of
internet
you.
has done for us.
Oh, I heard
We don't
people-
even think 2 plus 2 anymore. We just do it on our phone. 2 plus 2.
They
That's
say
right.
that like years ago, girls didn't go to school. They didn't learn algebra and this, and everyone knew.
I know how to do the
calculate.
calendar.
So if they did it, then they were very simple.
No,
That's
no,
right.
it's simple, but it's like it's one less thing for
Right,
me to
for
calculate.
Sure. No,
you
but
know.
whatever. I'm saying. That
And I always
Some
was
girls are
scared that
scared
it's
of it.
Right,
calculated the wrong
exactly.
date or everything.
Exactly.
Now I know
We'll
I have
get to there.
the right date.
Exactly.
That's it.
Anyhow, okay, so let's go back. Okay, so so and then of course we count with the girls. Let's say, for example, you got your period on Sunday afternoon. When will you be doing your hefsek tara?
Okay.
If you get your, it's minimum of 5 days. We include the day that we got our period, even if it's 1 minute before Shkia and we see it that day. That's the day it counts, right? So if we go into the bathroom on Sunday right before Shkia, we happen to find our period. When do we do our hefsek tara? And we count together. Sunday, Monday. First I let them do it. We see, and then we count. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Thursday afternoon will be your 5th day. And then we give a few examples. What happens if I get it Wednesday night? So Wednesday night is Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday. And have them actually give them examples and have them tell you, when am I going to do my hefsek? Because you hear it, but if you're not going to actually have it in practical in your head, you will make a mistake.
Could you discuss what happens if I think I got my period and my first opportunity to check is already after Shkia? What do you count?
We count
does go
first
by
of all we count by
See, right?
what you put on your calendar. It's an interesting question actually.
Does that
What
have
you
to be
put
right?
what you put on your what you put on your
That's when it gives a
calendar is the flow.
Yeah. Not
You
when
don't
you
not
see
when
the
you
stain.
see the
Yeah,
stain.
absolutely.
It's actually the flow. You have to start counting. That's why you would call a rub. Let's say, you know what I mean. You actually start counting from the stain, but the flow is actually what you put in your
You
thing.
count from the flow.
No, it depends. You have to ask. You have to find out. But sometimes, sometimes it would cause you a nida. Let's say you find a stain, go to the Rav, right? And then a day later, that's
So
when you
I
actually
had
get
that
your
issue.
period.
So I asked the rep. He said start counting from the flow, not the stain.
Yeah, but when did you have to separate?
Right. As soon as you see blood, you separate.
That's
but
what I'm
you
telling
don't
you.
count your days
No,
when you see
exactly.
So if I'm traveling, and I think it feels like I got my period, I'm not 100%, feels like, and my first opportunity to
It's exactly, it's
check
when you
is
see
after
it.
dark.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's when you
So-
see it.
It just does go.
Yes,
by
it goes
read.
by and see it.
It's an important factor.
Yes, exactly. That's why I always tell a girl, let's say, for example, if you have a shorter period, right? Let's say you only have a 3-4 day period. And you know, it would be a good idea for you, like when you think you're expecting to walk in right before Shkia and see if it's there, like in that thing, because you just saved yourself a day. You know, if you have 5 days, it doesn't really make a difference whether you see it, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it does. I mean, it does make it.
If
Like
it's
if you,
the opposite.
exactly.
It's
Well, both it
5 days
matter.
anyway.
Right, exactly. Exactly. If you have a longer period, then do that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So what are the specific, so what are the specific leniencies, okay, that a bride-to-be does not have to wait the 5 days. She does a hefsek tara as soon as she is able to. And that is, we're talking about a bride-to-be that is a virgin. But if we're dealing with not from people, we would probably do the same exact thing. So
5 days.
we would do it as soon as we can, because we want them to go to the mikvah and they're not going to wait the extra days. So then we can usually, but
You're saying if they get their period for only 3 days, they can do it on the 3rd day.
Exactly. Usually you have to ask them and tell them. And you ask her out, I'm going to actually ask her out, but we would probably tell them to do it, and they're going to go to the mikvah on
This
time
is if
better
they
than
have blood or
postpone it.
not. I'm saying even if they don't have, a lot of people don't have, no?
Even,
If it was complete, then even if they don't, no, isn't, don't you have to also? No. I'm saying after the.
this is
first time
after.
you
No,
said-
we're not talking about that. We're talking about before.
General?
Before preparing to go to get married. The time that she goes before. Yeah, that we'll talk about
So
later.
what do you say before you should come? If you have a shorter period, maybe they can cycle earlier?
No,
What do you say?
if let's say they have a longer period, like they have, right? So let them go right before, because then they, let's say it's a 5 day, you know what I mean? So like, and usually, let's say they would be able to do it at 5, but now they didn't see it, they only saw it at night, and it's going to postpone it. Like, tell them to go in right before Shkia, then they can count the Tuesday instead of having to start from the Wednesday. You know, sometimes you're aware, you know what it is. Oh my gosh, I didn't count. Just go in, just check it and see it before.
So in general, if you think your period's coming, you should
Yeah, exactly.
And it's before Shkia, you should look.
Exactly.
You should look, but not. Do you do bdika?
No, never,
Right.
never, ever do bedikas.
If it's not your
Unless
day.
the Rav tells us, and unless it's a din. Never, ever.
Right.
Let's see, so you say if it's not from people after the wedding?
No, we're not talking about after the wedding. We're talking about before.
No, about the 4 days you said.
No, we're talking about this is before the wedding. Even a
Okay.
frum girl has to wait 4 days. But let's say a frum girl before only has a 3-day period. She can do a hefsek tara after 3 days.
Really, not 5?
Nope, she does it as soon. As soon.
Really?
So only before the marriage.
Only before the marriage.
So
Only
only
before the
times
marriage.
an
Right.
exception.
Let's look inside. 82. Okay? Specific leniencies. A bride-to-be does not have to wait 5 days from the day she began menstruating when preparing herself for her initial immersion in the mikvah. Rather, she is allowed to carry out a hefsek tara as soon as she is able. And then if you look at the footnote, it says, this leniency does not apply to a bride who before her wedding was unfamiliar with Jewish law, which forbids all physical contact between the couple prior to the wedding, and who was not abstaining from physical relations with her groom prior to her wedding. She must abstain from physical contact 5 days before she does hefsek tara. The 5 days has to do with intimate relations. That's why there's a minimum of 5 days. So if a bride is not having intimate relations, therefore she, so to say, has extra days before her period, right?
So you're saying
allowed
something that's
on.
not from if they take upon themselves not to have intimate relations during this time, they could use this. But if they're saying to you, I can't separate from my husband even after my period, let's say.
Say it again.
I'm saying like you said that this applies for someone that's a virgin, like a frum girl that, you know, but you said also.
Let's say, for
girls-
example, you're preparing a girl for a wedding.
Right.
So even though she's not a virgin, and really she should wait 5 days,
Right.
but her wedding is coming up. And if
Right.
we are able to rely on the before,
Right, but you were saying the 5
but it
days
has
is
to be,
really
it has
for
to be
intimate
5, it has
relations.
to be, exactly, it has to be 5 days that she wasn't with her
Right.
spouse.
Right. That's what.
Exactly.
Okay.
It would have, that, exactly, very good. That would
Right.
have to be in place.
Right.
Then there's a
And
3-day
then
period. It has to be 5 and, it's always 5 and 7. 5 and 7 is the deal. Even for a woman who's way past menopause, 5 and 7 is the deal, right? But then, like we said, if let's say a bride is getting her period and you're realizing that it didn't come, right? And you know she's not going to wait for the proper day. So then what you would try to tell her is at least make sure that 5 days before, like 12 days before, you need to separate. Okay? And then if she has only the 3-day period, she can do it right after wait because she has that 5-day separation included. It always has to be 5 and 7, always. So let's say, for example, okay, I would have a woman who I want to get to the mikvah, right? And she's past menopause. Now, it's not always so easy for them to separate for 12 days, especially when you know you have to. Okay, but if they don't know they have to, it's very easy. But all of a sudden, when you know you have to, it becomes very, very difficult, I'm telling you. So what I would do is I would say to them, when was the last time you were with your husband? And then we will count the days. And then I will start then I'll tell them, do Hefsek Tara. So sometimes I'll say, oh, you can do Hefsek Tara tonight. Because they weren't together, right? Now, a lot of times they're going to have to talk with their husband. They have to get him to okay or whatever, so it's not always going to work right away. But you have to have in your mind the ability that you have to play around. We want to get them to the mikvah. Now, if we tell them 12 more days, it might not happen. Yes, if we talk before, and each person is different. But it's good to have in mind what we could do with them. And I've done it a few times. When was the last time you were with your husband? Okay, let's start counting. Oh, super amazing. You can go to the mikvah. You can start counting your 7 clean days in 2 days.
Okay.
You know?
So she has to not have
Or, oh my gosh, your husband is out of town. You see, whatever. Okay, so it's only 7. Like, to know all of the things. Hold on a second. Hello? You need something? I'm in the middle of a class. The hamburgers. You put them away. Oh, so maybe Tati took them already. Okay, super. I think Tati has it in his bag.
Awesome.